Who were sent to question Jesus? It was Pharisees and Herodians. Or who was sent? And then for what purpose? They tried to trap Jesus.
Yeah. To catch him in his words. So, question 2.
Who were the Pharisees? Who were the Herodians? I don't know the difference. Yeah,
Well, we know Pharisees, right?
we don't.
They are the
Herodians, they don't believe in the resurrection.
This is
Sadducees.
Sadducees.
Sadducees. Pharisees are the religious leaders, and the Herodians are politicians. They are not religious people. They are the people who support the family of King Herod. The King Great, Herod the Great, he died a long time ago. And these Herods are sons, his sons. Herod Philip, Herod, another one. And then they are the supporters. So they call Herodians. These are the political people. So usually the Pharisees and the Herodians were enemies. They were enemies, but then they united together to catch Jesus. So, so the Herodians, they support King Herod. Also, they work together with the Romans. Question 3.
How did
I forgot. How did
they praise Jesus? 14. They say you're the man of integrity, and you aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are, but you teach the way of God. So they just saying Jesus is following the truth and following the God's words and not humanly thinking, not moved by people. He cut through the words.
Yeah, truly, even in their eyes, Jesus was man of God, man of integrity, and Jesus was not swayed by men, and he didn't pay attention whether they are high priests or governors, or Jesus didn't pay attention. He straightforward taught the way of God, and he was, he taught the truth. Even in their eyes, they praised Jesus. And when people praise you, how would you feel?
Feel happy. Flying in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, our emotion changes. Our inner feeling changes. If people praise me, I feel so good, and I like that person.
Right.
True. That's and then question 4.
What did the praise end?
With what question did the praise end?
They are ending with the question: is it right to pay taxes to Caesars or not? Should he pay or shouldn't he?
Yeah.
And then question to Jesus, to trap Jesus.
Yeah. So praising was really sugarcoating. The inside was the poison. Inside was a death trap. And this question is designed to trap Jesus. So
So every time, how much they thinking? Maybe they thought they gathered there and then they talk a lot how to make the question, both side question,
right.
be trapped.
Uh-huh.
Yes or no?
So we have to be careful when people praise us because there are really people praise us, but in this case they had a death trap inside. So Jesus was not deceived by this praising. He saw the trap in there. The question was very seems like a simple question, and that it was the big issue at that time. Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Should he pay or we shouldn't? So question 5, what kinds of taxes did the Romans impose on the Jews? I will just explain. You say Paul or Paul? This P-O-L-L.
Paul,
Paul tax. This is the
how many people?
how many head, either head tax. They taxed on each head. So in order to impose this tax, they had the census. So for each head, do we have this tax in America? Head
No.
tax?
No.
English,
No.
I think I
No.
know.
We don't. We
No.
don't
But
pay.
they do census, right, in America.
Yeah, they have a
Sometimes they
census,
do.
but not tax purpose. They just want to survey. But they had a head tax. They had a land tax, property land tax. And then next one is all the Palestine whole area, the Romans under Roman govern, water tax, city tax, and then essential food they taxed like meat and salt and road tax. Like our tollway. When we drive tollway, every how many distance they tax charges like that. When they travel, they had the post to collect road tax, house tax. There's a property tax, import tax, export tax. So sometimes the item price is $1, then tax is 100 times. So many tax. You carry some item to sell, and how many tax you have to pay.
Road tax, import tax,
Export tax, and then tax on the food. We don't have a tax on food, right?
yeah,
In Texas.
Other
We don't have.
states have it.
I don't know other states. The main issue is temple tax. Let's read Exodus chapter 30, verse 11 through 16. Let's read it, each verse. Then the Lord said to Moses,
When you take a census of Israel, right, to count them, each one must pay the Lord a ransom for his life. At the time he is counted, then no plague will come on them when you number them.
Each one who crosses over to those already counted is to give a half shekel, according to the sanctuary's shekel, which weigh 20 grams. This half shekel is an offering to the Lord.
all who cross over, those 20 years old or more, are to give an offering to the Lord.
The rich are not to give more than a half shekel, and the poor are not to give less when you make the offering to the Lord to atone for your lives.
Receive the atonement money from the Israelites and use it for the service of the tent of meeting. It will be a memorial for the Israelites before the Lord, making atonement for your lives.
So this is the temple tax. So people bring sacrifices offer in the temple. That becomes income for the priests and Levites. And this money is, they call temple tax, and it will be used for the maintenance of the temple. And temple tax, half a shekel. Those who are rich should not pay more than that. Those who are poor shouldn't pay less than that. Everybody equally. Half a shekel is the temple. It's not expensive. It's only like a few dollars. Really, everybody can pay. So this one is every time a census is taken, then they pay. So in Israel, they appointed an officer who is responsible to collect temple tax. One reference book, that's the Calvin reference book, only one. That book says the main issue was the temple tax because the Romans took this money. The Romans took the temple tax, and then Israel people say, why should we pay? This is supposed to go to God, and then we shouldn't pay, give it to Romans. So only one reference book said that, Calvin reference book says that it has to be, big issue at that time.
So how they live?
Hmm?
It's the Pharisees and the religious leaders.
Uh-huh.
They don't get the tax from the people. How can they live?
No. Pharisees, they receive from the offering, sacrifices. That's their income. But this temple tax is maintenance of the building. Uh-huh. But they said that temple tax was given to the Romans. And then the Jewish people was very angry because
Also, I
nothing.
think Pharisees are religious leaders gonna be very angry.
Uh-huh.
They need to pay from their own pocket.
Yeah. So not in Jerusalem, Israel, but all the Jews abroad, they pay this one, and then they are all angry about this. So people didn't have money to pay tax, and then they loan it. Then tax collectors, we don't have money to pay, then they make it debt, and then they add interest. When I study, Bible, Old Testament, some Jewish people sell their children, sons, daughters as a slave, or they sell themselves as slaves. And I wondered why they should do like that. But when they have to pay so much tax, and then tax becomes a loan, it's possible. They have to sell themselves or even their children. Question 6.
Why did the Jews have a trouble to pay tax to Caesar? They don't have money.
Yeah, poverty, no money. Also, another reason was their religion, their faith. Because head tax, the life on each man tax, land tax. They believe this belongs to God. They believe life belongs to God, and the land they received from God. And then why should they pay tax? It's not the Romans. It is God's. God has given us life. God has given us this land. So they have it was against their faith.
They didn't pay any tax to the Jews, some kind of not only to the Roman, not to the any Jewish leaders.
This is
I'm thinking because they were so suffered because of the tax, so maybe they paid double to the Jews and to them.
this is things social system 2,000 years ago, and there are not many clear record. And then it says in Israel, they tax collectors collected tax and gave it to Herodians. And Herodians, King Herod, sent to Romans. That's one kind of a system, they think. Another system is tax collectors directly collected the tax from the Israel people and directly gave it to the Romans. So, it says tax collectors collected and gave it to the Herodians, and then they offered it to the Romans. That's another theory is tax collectors collected and then gave it to the Romans directly. So some say big money like this, like Zacchaeus, he was a cheap tax collector, and then they deal with directly with the Romans. And then like Matthew, Levi, those are small tax collectors. They collected the tax, gave it to Herodians, and then they gave it to the Romans. This is the Roman system, but in Israel there was some exception that they went through. That's why they send the Herodians here, because they are tax expert.
I think the first system gonna be charged more because
They always charge more. Tax collectors always charge more, and then you know,
They can get their
they get their income and then gave it to Herod or Romans. And it was very, so if they have to collect, Romans say, in this city, collect 1 million. And they would collect 2 million. And then 1 million is their income. And they gave to Romans. As long as what, you know, the Romans ask, they give, the rest is theirs. So tax collectors, the most hated.
So basically, Jewish society has collecting money too, tax too.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like doubling to Roman to tax collectors.
Right. So tax collectors, the most hated people in Jewish society, and they were not allowed to come in the synagogue or temple, and they also, it says, they don't accept their offering. They not only allowed in the synagogue or the temple, they cannot offer money because they refuse the simple money. So the Herodians is here today because they are tax expert and they want to trap Jesus. Yeah. Question 7.
How this question trap Jesus in either way? If you would answer yes, if you would answer no, it could be a problem because tax issue is paying tax to a Roman is against God. So if Jesus say yes, then Jesus against God. But if you say no, then Herodians, and it's like by law, Jesus, the people need to pay tax to Roman. But if Jesus say no, then he is against to the colonial rules and regulation. So it could be in trouble because it's against Roman.
Yeah. So if Jesus say yes, pay tax, then he's not loyal to the Jewish faith and to God. He's not, So he cannot say yes. If you say yes, no, don't pay taxes, then Herodians there, they will charge treason against Rome right away on the spot. So if Jesus agrees with all these sufferings of his people, then he will be against the Caesar. If he agree with the Caesar, then the Pharisees there, you are not God's people. How, they will all come against all these things. So either way, Jesus would trap and then would be charged. One is betraying his own people or betraying Caesar. What would you do in such a situation?
I need to go to the restroom. Please.
Be silent.
Be silent or trying to pass out.
Oh, headache.
Or all of a sudden become sick. Oh, I'm so dizzy. I'm so nauseated. Question 8.
with what money did they pay the tax to Caesar?
Okay. At that time, Israel people used the three different kind money and commonly used. Syrian coin is drachman. You know, drachman. Uh-huh. That's a Syrian money. So in the New Testament, we can see this money, drachman, and that's a half shekel. Jewish coin is Lipton, but they use a shekel. Before Lipton, they use a shekel. It's not coin. It is a golden bar or ring of gold or silver, and they weighed. They weighed. So they weighed 100 shekel or 1,000 shekel like that. That's been their money before coin was made. And then in Jesus' time, it was lepton. And then it's a copper coin, as in Mark chapter 12:42. This was when Jesus was in the temple, a widow put the coin. That's the lepta, 2 leptas. 동전 2 leptas. So this is a Jewish coin. And then when they offered in the temple, they can offer only with a Jewish coin. They cannot put Roman coin.
So they need to exchange.
Yeah, money exchange. That's why. Roman coin is unclean, so they cannot put Roman coin. And they have to exchange it. Now, Roman coin is denarion, assarion, and quadrantes, 3 different kinds. Denarion is silver coin, and they gave a wage of 1 day. When the workers work, they gave 1 denarii. And then next one is bronze coin, assarion, and quadrantes. These are bronze and less value. We use 10, $1, 10 cents. 100 cents become $1, $100 become like that. But these become usually half value. So quadrantes is half value of assarion. So it's different. It's made of bronze, both of them. So when they pay tax, with what money they pay tax? Roman coin, denarion. So now it's all clear in the Bible. Sometimes drachma, sometimes shekel, sometimes repta, sometimes denarion, because of the money at that time. Question 9.
What did Jesus ask them to bring? Coin. Money. Matthew.
Yeah, it's Mark chapter 15, also Matthew 22:19.
Matthew 20. 19 say, show me the coin used for paying the tax. They brought him a denarius.
Yeah. So in Gospel Mark, Jesus said, bring me a denarius and let me look at it. Jesus asked, bring me a denarius. In Gospel Matthew, bring me the coin that you pay for the tax. That means bring me the Roman coin. The coin that you use for paying the tax. That means bring me the denarius. So they brought the denarius. So this is the tax money. Bring me the tax money. Question 9.
We did.
Or 9. 10. Question 10.
When they brought out the denarius, what did Jesus ask them? Whose portrait is this, and whose inscription?
Yeah. Whose face is on that?
Caesar's. Julius
Yeah.
Caesar.
And then whose inscription?
Caesar's.
Both. It says one side has a Caesar's face, and the other side has a picture. Caesar is sitting with as a god, as a close as a god, deity, and sitting like that. And maybe there's something written in there. So who's this? They said the Caesar's. Question 11.
What does it mean by render to Caesar what is Caesar, and to God what is God?
So here, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God what is God's. And then give, here the words give is not just to give, it's a render. Some translation is give, some translation is render. And render means like a little different from giving. Giving is just giving. Render is pay back, like a pay back your debt, pay back your duty, like your obligation. You owe something, you pay back. That's responsibility. Give is just give, but render has a little different meaning. So
I think render is giving some authority or some kind of power. Also, you can render.
right. So render has many meaning, Render means also to give, but one of the meaning is pay back what you owe. Pay back what you owe. So our Bible has give to Caesar, but some Bible is render, and render is the right meaning. And so what you owe, you pay back. You owe to Caesar, then you pay to Caesar. You owe to God, then you pay to God. So by saying this, Jesus freed himself from this trap. So you owe something to Caesar, but you pay to him. You owe to God, you pay to God. But this is obligation, responsibility. Question 12.
What are the social duties as a citizen of America? Is avoiding social duties the grace of God?
I made that question.
I cannot answer.
So
Oh.
I'm not yet.
Yeah, Michelle Wilson tried to trap you.
Oh, really?
no. Render to Caesar what is Caesar. We have a double citizenship. We have a citizenship on earth. We have a citizenship in heaven. And we are both responsible. As a citizen of on earth, as a, where we belong to, is a citizen to Korea or citizen of America, we're citizen of earthly nation. And we have social duties render. So as a citizen of America, our social duties, we have to pay tax. I mean, so much. My every year, it is just this year $4,600 property tax. It's so much. And also, we, we gas tax. The tax is added when we buy it. It's already added. Gas, cigarette, and everything we buy.
Pay
And
tax.
when we stay in hotel, the tax. Some restaurant add tax. Everything. Is there anything we don't pay tax except the food? It is our social duty, and also serve as the juror. That's the duty. Jury duty. That's the duty, and we have to do it. That's what belong to Caesar. And we need to pay tax because with the tax money, government maintain air force, marines, and soldiers, and then government maintain postal service, and they make road constructions, protect us, provide us. They give us school, and then medical system for children, and all this support for the poor people, all this. So it's our duty as a citizen. So we, as long as we are faithful to God, we give to God, then we don't have to be responsible for this earthly nation. No, that Jesus say we have to be a good citizen, and also we have a good citizen of kingdom of God.
I just got reminded about it's Korban.
Korban.
Korban. The Pharisees usually say the Korban to remove their duty of the taking care of their parents. But it's the same thing. If we don't disregard these worldly things, we just worship God, and then it's the same thing.
So this is really a problem to some Christians, because if they think if they are faithful in church, then at work like they consider it like a worldly job. And then I did working in the hospital, it was just for money, and I just had the meaning in the church work, and then in the hospital work, I didn't have any personal relationship. I'm here to make money. That's it. And then I was just like devoted myself in the church work, and that's wrong. Because we have to be responsible citizen where I am. We have to. Being faithful to God does not nullify our responsibility as citizen. This means Jesus said, you are responsible as a citizen and you are responsible as heavenly citizen. Especially, some people really devote in the church and not faithful at home, at work. It is not really good. It doesn't nullify our social duty. So, is avoiding social duties the grace of God? Sometimes I hear, like, I didn't have to do it. Thank God I didn't have to do it. Something like that. It's not really. Jesus doesn't mean we have to do our social duties. This is mainly how Jesus have only God can get out of this kind of a trap. Only God's wisdom. But also another lesson to us is being faithful to God does not nullify our responsibility at home, at work, and in the society. Jesus wants us to do both. Okay. Today's Bible study is up to you.
So actually, one of my